A modern container ship can weigh over 200,000 tons. That's not just heavy, it's like an entire floating city made of steel. Now imagine this: powerful winds are blasting across the ocean, and strong currents are pushing against that ship non-stop. The force is so intense, it could snap thick steel cables like they're made of string. And yet, somehow, that massive ship stays in place. All because of what looks like a single metal hook. Sounds impossible, right? But here's the truth: if you dropped that same anchor into the deep open ocean, it wouldn't do anything at all. Zero. And if you tried to pull it up the wrong way, you could actually damage your own ship. So how does this system really work? How do captains know exactly how much chain to use? How do they lift something that weighs over 20 tons out of thick ocean mud? And what happens when the water is just too deep? Let's break it all down. This is one of the largest machines humans have ever built, over 100,000 tons of steel, cargo, and pure force moving across the ocean. So when something that massive needs to stop in the middle of open water, what actually keeps it from drifting away? Most people would say, the anchor, of course. It's big, it's heavy, it digs into the ground. Sounds simple, right? But here's the surprising part: that idea is mostly wrong. On a ship this size, the anchor isn't the main thing doing the work. It's more like a starting point. The real secret, the thing that truly holds the ship in place, is a clever piece of physics hiding in plain sight, inside the chain. Now think about what a ship is up against. It's not just sitting still. It's constantly being pushed by two invisible forces, wind and ocean currents. And those forces don't stop. Ever. To stay in one spot, the ship needs to fight back using two tools. The first one is the anchor. But here's the twist: its job isn't to be heavy. Its job is to grab. Modern ships use what's called a stockless anchor. It's designed with one purpose in mind: to dig in as efficiently as possible. When it hits the ocean floor, its wide, shovel-shaped arms, called flukes, are built to bite into the ground the moment the chain pulls it sideways. But this only works if the ocean floor plays along. If the bottom is solid rock, the anchor is almost useless. Instead of digging in, it just slides across the surface like a piece of metal on ice. A layer of algae can cause the same problem. It creates a slippery, carpet-like coating that prevents the anchor from gripping anything at all. Sand is a bit better. The anchor can sink in more easily, but it still struggles to lock into a firm, reliable hold. It's like trying to grab onto loose dirt: it gives way too easily. The best-case scenario for anchoring is a soft, sticky seabed, something like clay or mud. In those conditions, the anchor doesn't just sit there, it digs in deep, gripping the ground like a claw. But here's the surprising part: even with a perfect grip, the anchor alone still isn't enough. The real star of the show is something most people overlook: the chain. Technically, it's called the rode. And on a large ship, this isn't just any chain. We're talking about hundreds of meters of incredibly strong, heavy steel. Each individual link can weigh around 160 kilograms, that's heavier than a grand piano. Now yes, the anchor itself is massive too, often weighing around 23,000 kilograms, more than 15 average cars combined. But despite all that weight, its role is actually pretty simple. It just holds the end of the chain in place. The true holding power comes from the combined weight of the entire system, the anchor and all that chain. Together, they can weigh over 240,000 kilograms, about the same as a full-grown blue whale. Now here's where things get really interesting. Anchoring a ship isn't just about dropping metal into the ocean and hoping it sticks. There's real technique involved, a careful, almost precise process. And it all revolves around a beautiful concept from physics and math known as the catenary curve. When the anchor reaches the seabed, the ship doesn't stop there. It keeps releasing more and more chain. The goal isn't to create a tight, straight line between the ship and the anchor. Instead, the goal is to form a long, heavy curve, a sagging belly of chain that rests along the ocean floor. This curve is what makes everything work. First, all that chain lying across the seabed creates massive friction. It's like placing an enormous paperweight on the ocean floor, helping hold the ship in place. But the second effect is where the real genius comes in. That curved chain acts like a giant shock absorber. When waves or wind push against the ship, the force doesn't go straight to the anchor. Instead, it has to lift that heavy chain off the seabed first. And that takes a lot of energy. As the force increases, the curve slowly straightens, soaking up the energy, almost like stretching a giant rubber band. By the time any of that force reaches the anchor, it's been reduced to a gentle pull. Without this curve, even a sudden wave could yank the anchor right out of the ground. That's why the catenary shape is the real secret. It's the difference between a ship that's truly secured and one that's just tied to something heavy. So now the ship is stable, locked in place against wind and current. But eventually, it has to leave. And that raises a new question. How do you pull up an anchor that's designed to stay buried, connected to a chain that weighs as much as a blue whale? Well, you don't just pull the anchor out. You actually drive the ship. To retrieve it, the ship slowly moves forward using its main engines, heading straight toward where the anchor is sitting on the seabed. At the same time, a powerful machine at the front of the ship, called the windlass, starts pulling the chain back in. But here's the smart part. The engines are doing the heavy work of moving the entire ship. That means the windlass doesn't have to drag the ship sideways through the water. It only needs to lift the chain upward. As the ship gets closer and closer, it eventually moves directly above the anchor. At that point, the direction of the pull changes completely. Instead of pulling along the seabed, the chain is now pulling straight up. And that vertical pull is the key. It lifts the back end of the anchor, using its own shape like a lever to break the flukes free from the mud or clay. What was once locked tightly in place suddenly loosens and releases. But this entire process has to be done carefully. The captain needs to know exactly how much chain is in the water at all times. Too little, and you lose that crucial curve that keeps the ship stable. Too much, and pulling it all back becomes slow and difficult. So how do they measure something that long? They don't measure it with tools, they read it with their eyes. Anchor chains are divided into sections called shackles. Each section is about 90 feet long, roughly 27 meters. And here's the clever part. Each connection point is marked with paint. Usually, the joining link is painted bright red, and the links on either side are painted white. The number of white links tells the crew exactly which section they're looking at. One white link on each side means the first shackle. 2 white links means the second. 3 means the third, and so on. It's a simple, tough, no-tech system that works in any condition. With just a quick glance, the crew can tell exactly how much chain is out, like knowing that 5 shackles are in the water, which means about 450 feet of pure holding power keeping that massive ship in place. This is the real story of how massive ships stay in place, careful, controlled, and driven by physics. It's not brute force. It's not just dropping something heavy. It's a slow, precise balance between human engineering and the natural forces of the ocean. Now compare that to what you see in movies. A giant warship drops its anchor and suddenly makes a sharp emergency turn, like pulling a handbrake on a car. Looks cool, but in reality, it just doesn't work like that. So what would actually happen? Best case? The chain might absorb a small amount of that force for a moment. But very quickly, the anchor would lose its grip, get ripped out of the seabed, and start dragging along the ocean floor, bouncing around like a tin can tied to a speeding car. The ship itself? It would barely feel a thing. Worst case? The anchor somehow catches perfectly on solid rock. In that situation, the force is so extreme that the chain wouldn't stand a chance. It would snap almost instantly. So the next time you see a massive ship sitting quietly in a harbor, it might look calm and effortless. But beneath the surface, there's a constant, invisible struggle happening. That ship isn't just parked, it's carefully balanced. Held in place not by a simple chunk of metal, but by a flowing curve, a hidden rule of physics, and the combined strength of hundreds of meters of steel working together.